Good evening. Welcome to the Massillon City Council meeting for Monday, March 17th, 2025. We have with us tonight the following city officials.
Mayor Jamie Slutes. Here. Safety Service Director Renee Baker. Here. Assistant Law Director Edmund Mack. Here. Director of Development Ted Hernkane. Here. Police Chief Jason St. Noy. Here. And Income Tax Budget Director Lori Katagides-Boron. Here. Is there anyone from administration I missed? That's it, Mr. President.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Item number 5 on tonight's agenda is where the public can speak on any item that appears on the agenda. And then under number 17 is where the public can speak on any item that does not appear on the agenda as well. At this time, I want to remind everyone who has a cell phone to turn it down and or turn it on vibrate. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Brian Huth. Here. Creamer.
Present.
Cunningham.
Present.
Gregg.
Here.
Harwick Smith.
Here.
Markham.
Here.
Lewis.
Present.
Hackley.
Here.
And Ray.
Present.
Roll call of 9 present.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Tonight's invocation and pledge of allegiance is by Councilwoman Jill Creamer.
Thank you, Mr. President. Please stand and join me in the Lord's Prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance. Our Father, who art in heaven,
Hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Councilwoman Creamer. Item number 4, reading of the journal. Madam Clerk, are the minutes of the previous meeting transcribed and open for public viewing?
Yes, they are.
Are there any additions or corrections that need to be made?
No, there are not.
If not, then the minutes stand approved as written. Thank you, Madam Clerk.
You're welcome.
Item number 5, remarks of delegations of citizens to matters on the agenda. This is the part of the agenda where the community may speak on a topic that appears on tonight's agenda. If you'd like to speak on something on tonight's agenda, please come forward, state your name, the ward you live in, the topic you wish to discuss, and please limit your comments to 4 minutes or less. Anyone present at this time like to speak? Seeing none, we move forward. Item number 6, new and miscellaneous business.
I have nothing.
Item number 7, introduction of ordinances and resolutions. Resolution number 6-2025.
A resolution expressing opposition to the proposed state legislation that would reallocate, reduce, or eliminate tax revenues allocated to the municipal corporations or townships through the host community fund of the state's marijuana law as passed by the Ohio voters in November 2023 and declaring an emergency.
Councilman Lewis.
Yes, Mr. President, I'd like to call forward the Director of Development, please.
Mr. President, members of council, Councilman Lewis.
Yes, Mr. Hernkane, if you'd like to give us a quick summary of what brings us to us today.
Sure. So, as you all are well aware, in November of 2023, the voters of the state of Ohio passed Issue 2, which made adult use cannabis or recreational marijuana legal in the state of Ohio. There have been 3 that we know of proposed changes to what was passed coming out of Columbus, and we want to get ahead of it. There's a Senate bill that tweaks a lot of the things in that law. They didn't do as much in terms of changing the host community fund allocation, which is what we're most concerned with. When the voters passed Issue 2, just as a refresher, when the cannabis law passed, the state imposes a 10% tax on recreational marijuana sales. It's broken down 4 different ways. The one we are really the most concerned with is 36% of that 10% tax was earmarked for the host community fund. These are places like Massillon who have allowed marijuana dispensaries to open up shop in their jurisdiction. So there's a Senate bill, there's a House bill that wants to reduce that 36% to the host community fund to 20% and then sunset it after 4 years. And then there's the governor's budget that he's proposing to eliminate that entirely and save all the money to build prisons. We are opposed to any of these changes. Specifically, if you look at Section 1 of your resolution, where it says, hereby expresses firm opposition to any state legislation that would reallocate, reduce, or eliminate municipal income tax revenue through the host community fund. This is kind of a moving thing a little bit because there's a Senate bill, there's a House bill, there's budget conversations, and at the time of this, that we submitted this, we don't really know where these bills are in the General Assembly process. We do know that the City of Alliance has passed a resolution in opposition to this. We know the City of Canton is going to be doing the same, and we're also aware that the Ohio Municipal League is keeping a close eye on this, just like they did a month ago when we brought forth the legislation to you on that AT&T thing, which ultimately went bye-bye. So there's a lot of jurisdictions that are keeping an eye on this. We don't think it's fair. The people voted for something in the state, realizing how much money has been made on this, now wants to change the rules of the game. As of last month, there's been over $330 million in recreational marijuana sales. At a 10% tax, that's $30 million. 36% of that going to the host community fund is almost $12 million. And the 2 dispensaries that are not opened yet in Massillon, that will be this year, through our conversations with you folks last year, we know their estimated revenues collectively are about $15 million. Should things be the way that they were voted on by the people of the state of Ohio, we're looking at approximately $500,000 in new tax revenue to the city of Massillon, which we're not budgeting for, we're not spending, but we're highly anticipating it, and frankly, we'd like to see it. I do want to mention something. There was an article in the repository last month. The governor is quoted as saying, quote, "We all want more money to go back to local communities, but frankly, that was almost a lottery in the sense that some got money and some didn't," end quote. 56 communities in the state of Ohio chose to ban dispensaries in their jurisdictions. We did not. So the argument that this was a lottery and it's unfair, that some communities would get some money and some communities wouldn't, is really false. Every community had the choice to either welcome or issue a moratorium on marijuana dispensaries. We as a city, with your support, we chose to honor the will of the people of Massillon, who supported this overwhelmingly as well. So that's an argument that you're going to hear, but I think we all know that that's not true. So what we're asking you to do is pass a resolution that is very general. Attorney Edmund Mack helped craft this, so we encompassed all the things that we wanted it to encompass. And basically, we're asking you, the mayor is in support of this as well, that's why he signed the legislation request. We're asking you to please pass this resolution so we can give it to our state legislators, both in the Senate and the House side. So as they go back to do their work in the General Assembly, they know where the city of Massillon stands, and that is the people of Ohio voted for issue 2. Part of that is local communities getting their money, and we want ours. Any questions?
Councilman Lewis.
I'm just going to say that I would come alongside Mr. Hernkane with this. I do not believe it is a lottery. I believe that, the dispensary business is just like any other business that would operate within the city of, within the state of Ohio, and that those cities that present opportunities for these businesses to operate and be profitable will be the ones that have the most gain, just like any other business that operates within our state. If they do not find a community to be favorable to their business, they will not locate, and that community will not receive their tax dollars. So I would think it is a bit of an overreach for the state to take back something that they had already put into place through a vote. So I would be in agreement with this resolution.
Councilman Gregg.
Thank you, President Slater. I agree with Mr. Lewis. I mean, the reason, the tax dollar potential that this law has is the whole reason I voted for it in Massillon. So Massillon residents could benefit from that. And that argument that some communities benefit and some didn't is ridiculous, because now you're going to take, all communities are going to benefit. If they take all the money away and it stays with the state, then the entire state gets that benefit of that money, I guess, through more prisons. But the ones that voted for it, that were the cities, municipalities that voted for it, that were willing to support it, are not going to get any more benefit than anybody else does. And I don't agree with that at all. And yeah, when I read about this, I didn't know about the Senate bill and the House bill, but when I read about the governor's proposal, I was a gut punch, because I'm thinking that's ridiculous. So I would be in full agreement with this resolution. Thank you.
And you could do your own research, but there have been several communities throughout the state that have gone on record saying, we passed and allowed these because of the tax revenue.
Right.
And should you take that away, we're going to change our mind. There's a whole slew of changes in Columbus they want to make. I mean, they've seen how successful from a money standpoint this is, and frankly, they're just getting a little greedy. They want to increase the tax already. This might be a shocker, but they're finding that the home grow rule is being abused. I don't know how they want to change that. They'll never be able to monitor it. But there's a whole slew of things that go against the will of what the people voted for on issue 2. From the money standpoint, we agree. There are some that are saying, we're going to ban them should you do this, and I think that's going to set off a whole legal chain reaction that I don't want any part of, but thank you.
Any more questions? Councilman Ray.
Thank you, President. I was just piggybacking off of Mike Gregg. I was basically saying the same thing. It seems as if, we all knew when it came on the ballot that there was going to be benefits to the city, and a lot of people who don't believe or even partake did select to vote in agreement to it due to the fact that multiple people wanted it. So for it to be snatched away due to finances, it just seems like a bell ringer. And then obviously if we have the option to take it back, then that would be great too. But I'm definitely in full agreement with going forward with this. So thank you.
Any more questions?
Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Lewis.
Well, with that, if there's no more discussion, I'd like to make a motion that we suspend the rules requiring 3 readings, bringing resolution number 6-2025 forward to a vote.
Second by Councilman Gregg. Roll call, please. For suspension.
Roll call for
Yeah,
suspension.
roll call for suspension, please.
Creamer,
Yes.
Cunningham,
Yes.
Gregg,
Yes.
Harwick Smith,
Yes.
Markham,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Hackley,
Yes.
Ray,
Yes.
and Brian Huth.
Yes.
9 yes for suspension.
And for passage, please.
Cunningham,
Yes.
Gregg,
Yes.
Harwick Smith,
Yes.
Markham,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Hackley,
Yes.
Ray,
Yes.
Brian Huth,
Yes.
and Creamer.
Yes.
9 yes for passage.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Resolution number 6-2025 has passed. Item number 8, unfinished business. Item number 9, petitions and general communications. Item number 10, bills, accounts, and claims.
Yes, we have a bill in the amount of $344.56 payable to Local IQ, Gannett, Ohio, for the publication of our January ordinances. And in addition, I paid our U.S. Bank Equipment Finance bill in the amount of $127, which was the March invoice for our copier and was submitted to the auditor on March 4th, 2025.
Councilman Lewis,
I make a motion that we pay the outstanding bills.
second by Councilman Gregg. Roll call, please.
Excuse me. Gregg,
Yes.
Harwick Smith,
Yes.
Markham,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Hackley,
Yes.
Ray,
Yes.
Brian Huth,
Yes.
Creamer,
Yes.
and Cunningham.
Yes.
9 yes to pay the bills.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. The clerk will pay the bills and charge them to the proper accounts. Item number 11, reports from city officials.
Yes, we have the auditor's report for February 2025.
Councilman Lewis,
Make a motion that we accept the auditor's report?
second by Councilman Gregg. Roll call, please.
Hardwick Smith,
Yes.
Markham,
Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Hackley,
Yes.
Ray,
Yes.
Brian Huth,
Yes.
Creamer,
Yes.
Cunningham,
Yes.
and Gregg.
Yes.
9 yes to accept the auditor's report.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Item number 12, reports of committees. Our next work session will be on Monday, March 31st, 2025, at 6:30 PM, and council will be off the week of March 24th. Item number 13, resolutions and requests of council members. Item number 14, call of the calendar. Item number 15, third reading ordinances and resolutions. Item number 16, second reading ordinances and resolutions. Ordinance number 7-2025.
An ordinance to amend ordinance number 103-2024, did it again, pertaining to Chapter 1306 International Property Maintenance Code under Title I Building Codes of Part 1 or Part 13 Building Code of the Codified Ordinances of the City of Massillon, Ohio.
Councilwoman Cunningham.
Thank you, Mr. President. Second reading.
Ordinance number 7-2025 has received its second reading. Ordinance number 8-2025.
An ordinance to amend ordinance number 103-2024 pertaining to Chapter 1306 International Property Maintenance Code under Title I Building Codes of Part 13 Building Code of the Codified Ordinances of the City of Massillon, Ohio.
Councilwoman Cunningham.
Thank you, Mr. President. Second reading.
Ordinance number 8-2025 has received its second reading. Ordinance number 9-2025.
An ordinance to amend ordinance number 103-2024 pertaining to Chapter 1306 International Property Maintenance Code under Title I Building Codes of Part 13 Building Code of the Codified Ordinances of the City of Massillon, Ohio.
Councilwoman Cunningham.
Thank you, Mr. President. Second reading.
Ordinance number 9-2025 has received its second reading. Ordinance number 10-2025.
An ordinance to amend ordinance number 103-2024 pertaining to Chapter 1306 International Property Maintenance Code under Title I Building Codes of Part 13 Building Code of the Codified Ordinances of the City of Massillon, Ohio.
Councilwoman Cunningham.
Thank you, Mr. President. Second reading.
Ordinance number 10-2025 has received its second reading. Item number 17, remarks of delegations of citizens to matters not on the agenda. Is there anyone present that would like to speak on a topic which did not appear on tonight's agenda? If so, please come forward, state your name, the ward you live in, the topic you wish to discuss, and please limit your comments to 4 minutes or less. Is there anyone present at this time? Seeing none, we move forward. Councilwoman Creamer,
I make a motion to adjourn.
second. By Councilwoman Hardwick Smith. Roll call, please.
Markham,
Aye. Yes.
Lewis,
Yes.
Hackley,
Yes.
Ray,
Aye.
Brian
Yes.
Huth.
Yes.
I got it.
Yes.
Did you,
Yes.
oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'm looking at Julie. Creamer.
Yes.
Creamer,
Yes.
Cunningham,
Yes.
Gregg,
Yes.
and Hardwick Smith.
Yes.
9 yes to adjourn.
Meeting adjourned.